the Velcro feeder to calibrate it. But before we calibrate, we need to make sure that we're sewing position is correct, and we need to know the home position is correct. Two things. So let's go ahead and we're going to manually put the piece into the nest all the way, and we're going to sew it. And we're verifying that our position is correct. So we know that the sewing is correct. Okay, now we can focus on calibration to make sure the feeders, everything's in line. The distance at the end from this pawl to the edge of this Velcro, we like to have roughly 6 millimeters, quarter of an inch, max. Anything too much may create a problem, anything too less it may slip. This is a good position to have it. We're going to show you how to achieve that. So just pause me a minute. Okay, now what we want to adjust, we want to establish where this stop position is supposed to be. It's very, very important. And what we want to know is the distance from when it feeds 1 inch of tape, 1 inch. So let's go to the setup, manual, setup, length 25. 35, which is 1 inch. So the cylinder feeds that first inch every time. That's what we want to know. So when I reset, it puts exactly 1 inch of tape, and I want to know the distance from this edge to here is 6 millimeters. And to achieve that, you're going to use this sensor right here. You don't use this stop. This sensor tells me this position. And you must do this first before you do anything else. Okay, we established this position is where we want at 6 millimeter. At this point, unhook the 2 wire at the motor with the power off. Never do this with power on, you'll burn the motor up. It'll die right away. When the power's off, you can unhook the 2 prong. There's a 4 prong, the 2 prong is the one you want to unhook. Now you can power back up. At this position, now again, we want to maintain this 6 millimeters here, but we want to make sure. So if I hold my tape right here where it's at the knife, and I can move my sensor in and out, see this? I want the sensor just to come on, right there, just come on. So that means that's where I'm always going to home up to 6 millimeters, no matter what. It always is my 0 point. At that point, if we were somewhere we didn't want to be, we'll loosen these 2 screws and we'll adjust the sensor where we need it. Right now we got it where we want it. You never adjust this 2 screws for the stop. This is a hard stop. All that means if you for some reason overshot, you see that bump? It's just for overshooting. But the actual position we want to stop is here. Now let's say for some reason you have it adjusted wrong and this is too close. If you hit the hard stop before the sensor, you don't get home. Or the last thing you want to do is hit this sensor and the stop at the same time. That's not good. You always want to have a little cushion. You have a little sense, and then you have a bump. This is perfect, just like that. Give yourself about 2-3 millimeters in there. It's good. Again, there's my home position. Okay. Before you do anything, at this point, turn the power off. Because we established we like this position. It's good. Turn the power off and wait 2 minutes. Okay, after 2 minutes, take notice my power is off. It's very important the power is off. Come back and hook your 2 prongs right back up. Okay, because now the motor is now under control. We don't need it off anymore. Powered up. Make sure you wait 2 minutes because otherwise the power supply is going to make an arc and it could damage that motor when you hook it in. And never with the power on. Never, 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 never. All right, we're going to boot the machine up. Okay, and you see how we put another tape in. Come over here to manual. We're going to calibrate. Now we're going to calibrate the system. We know that the position of Velcro is correct. We know the home position is correct. Now we need to know the position coming into the nest. And what we're going to do in this particular segment first is this stop. Again, there's this little sensor here, the center of the flag. When the flag of this arch, right here, when this flag turns this sensor on, you need to have the edge of this Velcro right here needs to be at the edge of that nest. If it's anywhere else, it's wrong. That's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go to manual, setup, other. That other, put 486 is the password. Enter. And we're going to adjust. This is how we're going to do the calibration. What I do at this time is I always put a brand new piece of Velcro to make sure nothing moves. So we're going to go to automatic, reset. Velcro's in place. At this point now we're going to go back to manual. And take your finger and just hold his paw and hit the right arrow key. And just hold on, don't come off of it until it comes against your sensor. The sensor light just came on, okay? And my Velcro is right up against the wall, right where I want it. If it was not in this position, you would have had to make an adjustment here on this screw, either in or out, to make it just end exactly where we want it. So now I've moved position. I'm going to reset this just so you can watch it one more time. Go back, get a new piece. Manual. You hold it. Right key. It'll stop automatically when it hits the flag. That's good. If anything, maybe a little bit more could go in, but we're real close. At that point, once you have the position where you want it in the nest, hit auto calibrate. When you hit auto calibrate, it identifies the exact number that needs to be put in. So that way everything rapid feeds and homes in slowly into position. So we're going to show you how that works. On this particular customer, we want to change his length to 42, which is inch and 5/8. So now this will put the new length in. All right, you can see our length is more. Just play it safe. I'm going to drive another one. Make sure we got it accurate. When I hit feed, it should stop into this corner. But if you take notice, watch it one more time. As it feeds in, it's going to stop roughly about here, and it's going to home in very slowly to the edge. That's what you want. And it happens on both ends. Going home, it does the same thing. So watch this real close. See how it just homes in real slow? And then if you don't mind, watch it return and going slow in this end as well. Fast, slow, fast, slow. That tells you you're homing into position. If it doesn't slow down and home in position, what will happen is the screws on the pulleys will vibrate loose from slamming. You should never slam any of the hard stops. You should always, the feeder should always stop on the soft sensors, this soft sensor and this soft sensor. If they're hitting any of the hard stops, it's not calibrated correctly. And please remember, always start home sensor first. After you know this position, home sensor, then the opposite sensor. If you do it backwards, you're going to be chasing your tail. It'll never work properly. This is the proper way to do it.